The first writing skill I'm going to talk about is verb choices. How to select the best verb based on the meaning you are trying to express in your writing. And in order to do this well, I have a couple of pieces of advice for us as we get started. The first thing is to beware of how words translate from your first language, which I wrote as L1 there, into English. What we notice is not every verb has a direct one-to-one translation. Sometimes there's one verb in your first language and English has 2, maybe 3 different verbs, all for that one verb in your first language. The same can also happen. Your first language has 2 or 3 or even more verbs for only one verb in English. And not only the number can differ, but also whether it's a direct translation or if there's some slight differences in meaning between the verb in your first language and in English. Now, to give you an example of this, I'm going to compare English and Spanish for a minute. So, if I'm an English speaker learning Spanish and I want to learn the verb to be in Spanish, and I go to Google Translate, I'm going to show you what happens here. So I put in to be, and the answer they give me is ser. Well, this is true. This is one option, but it's not the complete picture here. So yes, it means to be if I'm talking about, myself and who I am. Yo soy una profesora. I'm a teacher. However, if I wanted to say, how I'm feeling, the same verb in English, am, it doesn't directly translate in Spanish. I'm missing something here. I need the verb estar. And the problem there is Google Translate just gives you one of those. But in reality, this one verb in English actually translates into 2 in Spanish. So we have to look out for those because this sort of translation can cause and affect our ability to accurately use verbs in that case. So that's the first thing. Be aware of translations between languages. The second thing is, how do you become more aware of this? Well, I recommend using the power of AI, and specifically ChatGPT can really teach us those patterns and nuances quite well. So one example is the verbs do and make in English commonly cause a lot of confusion. That's because sometimes people's first language doesn't differentiate between them. Other times it's because people's first language uses them differently. So how can we learn these English patterns for do and make? Well, this is ChatGPT here, and I've put in, when do I use do versus make in English as a question? And it's generated a very nice list for me of the differences there. With do, you're using them for general activities, works, jobs, tasks, non-specific activities, housework, chores, and then they have something called expressions and collocations. These ones you really want to pay attention to because by expressions, they don't really follow a rule necessarily. They're just the verb that commonly occurs with the rest of the phrase. In contrast, we have make, creating or producing something, plans and decisions, causing a reaction, building or constructing, and then again, those expressions or collocations, not necessarily a rule, but just this verb typically occurs with the rest of this phrase. So I recommend whenever you encounter, confusions between verbs, so for example, do and make, say and tell, and there's lots of ones like these in English that maybe don't directly have those same differences in meaning as your first language. I recommend, using ChatGPT to give you an idea of those patterns. Again, another one, take and bring, have, take is sometimes often confused as well. So lots of examples there that you can be practicing. The final piece of advice I have, I'll just pop back there, is to pay attention as you read. And this is especially true if you are in a special field in English. So you're in English for medical purposes or business purposes. Maybe you're an engineer in English. You want to become familiar with the verbs commonly used in your own field. And in order to do this, you have to read widely in that field, starting to recognize the patterns from the authors you're reading. ChatGPT can certainly help you with this, but also just, reading documents, reading emails, seeing the verbs that other people in your field are using, and then making a mental note of those for your own writing as well. So those are just a couple of pieces of advice to get started. They're mostly about raising your awareness of verbs. Because verbs are so important for the meaning of what you're trying to write, that's why it's so important to study them in detail, recognize those patterns, and start to use them more accurately. In our next video, we're going to actually do some practice, and we're going to focus on specifically verbs in medical English, as this is trying to help those preparing for the OET. However, the techniques I use are helpful for anybody to improve their writing. So that's what's coming next. Make sure to subscribe so that you're updated when that next video comes out.